And within the 1 hour, we bring for you the stories that are happening within the region of West Nile. And on Mondays and also Fridays, Saturdays, we talk about the West Nile Regional League. And on Mondays, we normally give you the analysis of how the games are transpired in West Nile Regional League. We talk about FIFA Big League. We talk about StarTimes Uganda Premier League. We don't forget about the famous league for the Ugandans. I'm talking about the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. And we don't forget about the Spanish Primera Division. Mostly on Mondays, we give you the analysis of what transpired over the weekend. As I said, I'm not alone in the studio. I am together with Susie Linda. Susie, you are most welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benson, my colleague host. Good afternoon, a viewer out there. And I should say it is a Monday edition over. There is a waste time. We're already in the house at 2 to 3. Benson already said that. We give you anything within the world of sports, be it local, be it national, be it international, everything we bring it here. Over the weekend, we had a lot of actions locally, nationally, and internationally. There were a lot of shocking results. I was very happy for, there is a Spurs, I think, that is what actually made my weekend. They tied Manchester City to a 3-3, and the goals came in, the goals are pulled through in a very unique way. We'll look into that in the final minutes of There Is the Show. And then locally, at home, one of the biggest matches we had was Onduparaka playing home. And then there are equally other games. And the other day, Calvary traveled to Lira, and we saw them losing out. Of course, we'll give in more of the updates as we proceed with the show.
So let's start it with what transpired over the weekend in West Nile Regional League, because as I said on Mondays, we'll normally give you the analysis of what transpired over the weekend before we talk about how games went in Europe, whether it be in German Bundesliga, whether it be in Italian Serie A, French League One. We give you a lot. And today we'll also be talking about the league, Saudi Pro League. People seem to be forgetting about some of the great players who crossed the other side of Asia. Today we need to talk about these players, who is the top scorer, and we'll be talking a lot. But let's start it within the region. Arua City, yesterday they had a game. In fact, on Saturday they had a game, and they won that game. It was up against Nyahama. They won the game by 2-1. I think a good start. In fact, a good win for them, because the last 2 games they have actually not been doing so well in it, and this time picking the win, I think is a good one for them.
The last 2 games, we all saw them tying all into a draw, and we saw them sharing spoils down there, even with one being at home. Arua City started on a very good notice. Like we had already said, Benton, it has always been hard for teams within Arua City traveling to Greater Nairobi region to pick a win. But we saw Arua City starting the season with a win. I remember they had traveled to Zeu, and they picked the very first game, which was then away. They picked a win from there. Whereas most of their colleagues that actually started on away basis, we saw them picking defeats. I'm talking about a very clear example is Alpha Rising Stars, commonly called as Leah. There were a lot of games that actually went down. Arua City, I had clearly, we gave in our predictions during the day before actually the game. This game went down on Saturday, and I remember on Saturday we did some in-depth analysis about these very games. And I was like, all odds, that is according to me, all odds actually were favoring Arua City, because one, they were home to Nyahama was sitting at bottom of the table. I remember very vividly. They had only 1 point, and Arua City was sitting somewhere. The position was not quite a very bad one. So that time around, I said we're giving in a win for There Is Arua City, unless otherwise. The worst for Arua City we were seeing was a draw. But then they came in and picked in that very win. It was a very good one, and I think one of these days, Benson, we should be looking into hosting a few people that work within the management of the regional clubs, because the season has kick-started. We have started doing live games. This very Sunday, if all goes well, we'll be again back in Luo Grounds. The last time we were in Luo Grounds was on Thursday. Went for Kopo Paubim. And then I think this Sunday, 10th, that will be 10th, if all goes well, there will be one big game. There is in regional, that will be by the Black Angels facing off Nepi Central. So I think basically, Arua City, yeah, it was quite a very good one for them to pick that win. And then there are other wins that also came through.
Yeah, exactly. By the Black Angels also continuing with their final run of the season. They won the game against Zeu Central. Still discussing about Arua City. They are one of the sides still unbeaten in the league out of the 5 games they have played. That means they have picked 2 wins and 2 draws. And then the other one is 2 wins, not 2 wins rather, 3 wins and 2 draws out of the 5 games they have so far played ever since the kickstart of the new season of West Nile Regional League. Currently they have 11 points. They are 4 points adrift of the first team that I'm talking about, by the Black Angels, that won their game up against the team of Zeu. That one takes us to the discussion about the Black Angels. They seems to be flourishing very well. 5 games played, no draw, maintaining the 100% start to the season. So do we say this time the Nyagaki zone is going into their hands?
Basically, I would literally say it's yet too early to actually say maybe this team is going to come through and maybe pull to the playoffs and all that. Basically, if we also, that is for Nyagaki zone.
Yes,
if we also cross to there is Nile zone, you literally get to see that there are teams that are actually performing very well. By the way, in a Nile zone, the point of the team that is top of the table is, there is a slight gap with the team that is top of the table in Nyagaki zone. So basically, the Black Angels is doing very well.
Yes.
They're top of the table for now. And if you look at the way they are playing, yeah, they are still unbeaten.
True.
And their unbeaten stands in that they've not picked in a draw anyway. They've won all their games that they've played. But then they are I would say they're competing with Arua City that is also unbeaten. But we've seen Arua City matches that they're holding an unbeaten run. 2 of their games are draws. But then the Black Angels has not picked a draw anywhere. They have not lost the 3 points anywhere. They have gone all through to gather all the 3 points and collect all the bragging rights. So I think by the Black Angels, that's what I would say, in a regional league, when last season closed off, the Black Angels was literally one of the most active teams during transfer windows. True. They almost came to Arua and swept all the best players that these other minor leagues had, the likes of fourth division league and all that. So basically, they did a lot of signings. The Black Angels did a lot of signings. And I remember one time I shared with some of their players and some of the key people in the management, and I told them they have good players, they have the finances, the fans always come through and support. They have a few leaders that always come through and support. And I was like, by the Black Angels, the only problem was with the fan base. Their fans, when they decide to run riots, trust me, you cannot stop them. Last season, we saw them coming to play a few of their games in Mani. They were moved because of hooliganism. So I literally told them, if the Black Angels was to flourish, they should talk to their fans. And if the fans can listen and support the players, trust me, the Black Angels is going very far. And we are seeing them flourish. We are seeing them go. The fans move with them wherever they go to. That is one big thing that by the Black Angels. As I don't know this time around what would bring them down. We are yet watching. The season is yet young. The season has just started. But player-wise, they're okay. Financial-wise, they're okay. I see the fans have become also disciplined. Unless otherwise, we're yet to see what will transpire amid the season.
Susie, I think currently by the Black Angels, they are the best team in West Nile Regional League. You talk about the both zones, both Nile zone and Nyakag zone. Why am I saying this one? Because they are the only team maintaining 100% start, 5 games played, winning all of them. Not even caught, because the other time we saw them playing that draw with the team of Odamatako Central. They are all tied with the same number of points with the team of Tipsa. They are all having 13 points each. I'm talking about Kotse and the team of Tipsa that comes under Koboko DF. We're still discussing about Nyagaki zone. We have already talked about some of the teams that are currently performing very well. Apart from the Black Angels, they're on top. Yeah, we understand. But you take a look at some of these teams. You talk about the Pakwati Youngsters that comes from Pakwati district. You talk about Arua City, that's under Arua City Football Club that comes from Arua City. You mentioned in the Bisendul, the last 2 seasons they have always been runners-up from Nyagaki zone. You may also talk about the Paida United. Out of these 4 teams I've mentioned, Arua City, one of them, Nebi Central, another one, Paida United, and Pakwati Youngsters. Which teams do you think will give headache to Paida Black Angels?
Paida Black Angels, literally, when the off-season, they had a few build-up games. And I tried to discuss with a few of their players that are my friends. They told me I was even shocked when these guys told me there is no team that actually is going to be a threat to them in there is the Nyangaki zone apart from Zeu. They were fearing Zeu
because they are neighbors.
Which Zeu actually, which Zeu picked, which Zeu Arua City traveled from here to pick their very first win of the season away. Zeu was home, so I think that alone removed the fear that by the Black Angels had, because I tried to share with a few of the players. They told me the only team that they were scared of that would give them hard time was Zeu, because simply a few of their good players within the squad of the Black Angels had moved to Zeu, and they feared that these people would move with some of their internal secrets, the other side, and maybe if they would come in to face these people, they were going to pick in a defeat there, but that is not the case. And I think for the fact that Zeu literally now is not doing so well, has given by the Black Angels a few insights and some morale. And then I think that now is off. And Pakuachi, by the way, Pakuachi youngsters is also another team that is to watch. If you look at the table standings where they are in top 4. They sit somewhere around there. And so by the Black Angels sits up front, and then the rest of the teams that actually follow. So basically, I think Zeu now is not a threat anymore to by the Black Angels. I think it's going to be Alpha. Alpha can also not be a threat to. There is they've played. They played. Alpha traveled the other side and lost to there is by the Black Angels. We're yet waiting to see by the Black Angels coming to Panduru, because Panduru is also one place where Alpha Rising Stars does not lose out their games very easily. So basically, to me, I don't see any team that would be a threat, by the way, to there is by the Black Angels, because right now how they've come, trust me, by the Black Angels has come with a full zeal. They have the morale, they have the energy. I think they've just come to push through and go forward.
Yeah, still looking at the table standing, briefly highlighting the viewers on top, like we are repeating ourselves, because we have been singing this one in the last few minutes. By the Black Angels, 15 points. Teams like Arua City, Nebisendro, Pakwati Youngsters, they are the ones maintaining the top 4. Meanwhile, down in the relegation zone, apart from Alpha Rising Stars, the rest of the newly promoted sides, they are all sitting in the red carpet. I am talking about Nyahama, Zeu Central, and also Kuluva Rainbow. So this one takes us to the discussion of the game that also happened yesterday between Alpha Rising Stars, or as you can call them, Lia City. Very soon they will be rebranded as Lia City. Actually, they lost the game into the hands of Kuluva Rainbow by 1-0. They were actually not at Panduru. They went away to Kuluva. I think that one is a shocking result. How many people actually expected such kind of a result?
It is actually very shocking because Kuluva, I think that is the first win Kuluva Rainbow is picking since the season started. Second win, okay. But Kuluva Rainbow, if you look at the table standing, they're not doing so well. And this time around, Adiga Morris, the coach of the coach of Alpha Rising Stars, lost into the hands of his former employees. So literally, I think it was quite a very massive one for there is a Kuluva Rainbow. And then it was very traumatizing for there is a coach, Adiga Morris. You know, basically we've seen even players, we've seen coaches. Once you're going into to play or to face off your former workmates or your former employees, people always put in a lot of energy.
It's true.
You go there to pick a win. I think it's very traumatizing when you end up picking and losing all that. But then football is football, anything happens. This is very shocking. I don't know what happened. Alpha Rising Stars, if you look at their players compared to actually the players of Kuluva Rainbow, Benson, I would literally say that actually Alpha Rising Stars has better players compared to Kuluva Rainbow.
It's true.
Whatever it is that happened, this is a shocker to me that actually Alpha Rising Stars lost into the hands of Kuluva because Kuluva now, they're not like the Kuluva we saw in the past 2 seasons. The first season they came with full force. They reached up to finals. Even they played zonos, I remember. And then last season they started very well. That was when they were still being trained by the coach. There is Mr. Diga Morris. And then somehow Diga just vanished like that. He disappeared, and that is how we started seeing a Kuluva Rainbow going down the drain. They were sinking and all that. Whatever it is, I remember one time I asked Adiga Morris and he told me the problem and challenge with Kuluva Rainbow was a player license. Does player license affect results? I want to understand that today.
Yeah, it affects because if the players are not so many, like out of the 23 players we have in the system, if maybe, let me say 15 to 18, they are the ones that are having the license, of course the squad number becomes limited. Maybe he was talking alongside that area.
Okay. Because even how Leo lost in the zonos at this time in Nepi, they also attributed their complaint to player licensing. And then I tried talking to the PRO, that is Mr. Suso. He told me they also had license issues. That is why they were facing a lot of challenges in the zones when they played last season in Nepi. So literally, Alpha, I think they have not settled.
Yeah,
they are equally another team that was the most active during transfer windows. They did a lot of signings. They have good players. Look at Miso. Miso was the top scorer last season, all through. They ran almost unbeaten, even up to finals when they went to face Total in the joint where they wanted to get an overall winner. Miso was, I think, the top scorer. He was good. He has not gone anywhere. He's still in the squad. Even Fanny, their goalkeeper, is good. Fanny is still in the team. And then they added in a few more people. Matata Gabriel. Matata Gabriel has played internationally. Sometimes he's summoned for the international team of South Sudan. He played for Atlabara. He played for Duparaka. I mean, all this, and you're failing to pick a win within the team that, I mean,
Susie, actually,
surprising.
Actually, I know everyone is following this club, Alpha Rising Stars. First of all, you look at the entire Arua City, they only having 2 representatives in the league, Western Regional League. It's only Arua City and Alpha Rising Stars. And I've been asking myself, are they not having the experience? To me, that is true, because it's their first season in Western Regional League. Player-wise, financial, they are stable, but do you have the experience to manage the rest of the teams? Is one thing, of course, I've been looking at. And also you look at the form guide. Out of the 5 games they have played, away win has not been coming on the side of Alpha. Out of the 3 games they have played away, they have picked defeats. In all of them, they were beaten by the Black Angels. They went to Kuluva, they lost that one, and also they went away to another team, they lost it. I think out of the 5 games they have played, only picking 2 wins. The wins they have come against teams like Pakwa Super Eagles and recent one against Pajobi United. What does it mean comparing Alpha with the team of Kuluva Rainbow? Matthias, the fan base is on the side of that Alpha Rising Stars, but experience-wise, that's why we say a lot of things speak in football, history, everything. These are the things, of course, you will have to speak ahead of any encounter, but the bragging rights, of course, as he used to say, has already gone into the hands of Kuluva Rainbow. A lesson for the team of Alpha Rising Stars. Next game for them, of course, will be a home game. Who is the best for them? Currently, they are only having 6 points. That is the team of Alpha Rising Stars for you. This, I think, we also need to talk about zone. We have taken long discussing about Nyangaki zone. It's going up to the wire, neck to neck between Tipsa and the team of Koti Urban. Once you see Koti winning, the team of Tipsa cannot fail to win. Like if Koti is playing on a Saturday, maybe the fixture for Tipsa is on a Sunday. Once Tipsa has seen that Koti has won, they will not want to lose. Currently, they are all tied at 13 points, still unbeaten, only dropping points in a draw. What does it speak in Nile Zone? Nile Zone is always a league, is always the part of Western Regional League I love most, because the competition will always go up to the end. We can flash back and give the best example with what happened last season when we saw it going up to the last games and Courts picking it against the team of Araka. But this time, Araka is not doing so well. And also, Courts, the biggest talking point seems to be taking all the bragging rights under Yumbe DFW, winning against teams that are coming from Yumbe. They won against Araka the other time, and also over the weekend we saw them collecting all the 3 points against Arakala City.
I think Nile Zone is becoming very interesting. It's more interesting, and that's why I said if you look at the points over the first team that sits on the log within the regional league of Nile Zone, you literally see that they have there is a point gap, a slight one compared to the points that actually are the team that sits first on the table of Nyagakizona. What does this mean? This means that the Nile Zone is more competitive and very interesting compared to actually Nyagaki Zone. Because Nyagaki Zone, we only have a few teams that are very strong. We have a few teams that are, when you go head on head with them, picking points is going to be very hard. They would even share spoils with you. But when you cross over to Nile Zone, trust me, you are coming to face a team that are beating you for fun. And then when this team beats you, like you had said, on a Saturday, a Sunday, another team is also the other side beating the opponents for fun. So basically, to me, the competition in Nile Zone is more stiff than the competition in Nyagaki Zone. So if you look at other teams, in there is a Nile Zone, you literally see that every team is tough. They have good players. They don't have issues with finances unless otherwise they've not told us or we've not landed on it. They have proven players that can actually manage the league. There is the region league. So basically, I think Nile Zone is quite more interesting. Look at other teams, Tipsha. Look at Tipsha, very competitive. They have good players. When you cross to, there is the likes of Total, the likes of a lot of teams, the likes of Yumbe, Hospital, and then Yumbe Heroes, and then the rest, Koboko Rising Stars and Tipsha and all that. So basically, to me, there is no better team in Nile Zone. Everyone is the best.
Yeah, Susie, there is one thing I've been thinking about. Teams that we are known of performing very well of late, their names are disappearing on the board. Teams like, I am compiling Regional League together with the 4th Division League. Teams like of Josendro, that comes from Marata. You talk about Okokoro. You may talk about teams from Naroni to Dasi Teregu. There was a team called Tiliova Lane. You talk about Liria. Of late, they are disappearing. And Koboko used to be known of Koboko Rising Stars, but of late, Tips has taken up.
By the way, talking of Chilua, I was just walking up. Those guys used to be bad news, by the way. I don't know what happened. There was a time they were in regional league, by the way, and we saw teams from Nebi going there. There was one team that had gone the other side that was beaten for fun. And funny enough, if you look at the football grounds in Chilua, that time around, you'd find, I think basically someone would just offer in their amvu for digging. And then you find that amvu daily garden, but amvu da makala bafunyo saka no lang gondini. So that time around, teams from Nebi would go there and play. The guys in Chilua would beat them for fun. So these teams from Nebi, their fan base would turn around and babapi mafunyo oladi kitu woro because now mpira pariba luili amvu azima tia basically. So that's how that team Chilua made the name. I was even surprised that they've gone silent. And by the way, we've also not been following. I don't know where they are now. They have gone very silent.
If I may cut you short, by then these teams were all under Arue DFA. I don't know if it is because they are maybe by then the competition was very high since they were still under Arue DFA because we had Marata County, we had Teregu County, the Vora was still under a county, so the competition was very high amidst these teams coming from the different counties. Teregu will want to perform very well, Marata will not want to sleep. You talk about Vora. Since they have been moved to their different DFAs, every club now feels that, every DFA now feels that they can be able to have their own competition. That's why some of these teams, of course, they have disappeared. I think before we go for a break, we need to talk about the biggest story which happened over the weekend in the region. It's all about our almighty Ondoparaka Football Club continuing with their perfect run at home as they went on to beat Ndeze University by 2-0. Tuesday before I answer myself into the analysis of the game, what were your observations in the game?
That game we watched it, we were on the ground. I think it was a very good one. But then if Onduparaka composed itself very well, trust me, Onduparaka was going to beat Ndeje with a very wide goal margin. And Ndeje, their number 9 was tough. That guy was tough. And then there was the other roster that they also had that was pulled, somehow. But Onduparaka, Andama Junior played his heart. I don't know what has been happening in the most recent games. Yes, we've not been seeing him perform. In Aniku, I don't know what has been happening. This time around, I was glad that the goals didn't come from the coach. They came from other people. Andama Junior came in there with the first goal, and then Bida's classic goal, man, that was the goal of the year to me, because the year is coming to an end. I saw Bida playing out his heart. Bida tried. You would see him almost moving in the whole pitch. He was in the wingers. He was there. You find him in trying to defend a goal that Andeje would want to. In midfield, he was in the whole pitch, you literally see. So basically, I think Onduparaka tried. Because I was looking at Ndeje that recently is trying to come up. I don't know whatever it is that happened, and they, by the way, they tried.
They tried.
If Onduparaka also was not very careful, they were going to tie in a draw. That is with Ndeje. But then I think as they realized first half. To me, Onduparaka put up a lousy display in first half. They put up a lousy display in first half. And then our second half, we saw guys coming in. And I don't know, first half, they failed to settle for me. They were passing in a lot of lousy balls and all that. But then second half, you'd see that guys had settled. They were able to contain a ball. They were able to, I think that is that. Onduparaka basically deserved that win. We're yet waiting to see them travel to Boma after this.
The best thing was Onduparaka still maintaining their brilliant start at home, already winning 5 games at home, and it has taken their points tally to that 15. And they are now lying at the 5th position as far as the table standing is concerned. And talking about the game, like you said, there is one thing, of course, the team has to work on, that converting edge, that putting the ball into the back of the net, that cutting edge is, of course, one thing they should work upon, because they had so many brilliant chances. Putting it into the back of the net was the greatest challenge they had. Matches they managed to pull 2 into the back of the net, and I've loved the way how, of course, the coach does. Steven is doing it at the touchline. He's trying to become very, very tactical. He knows the right time when, of course, he's supposed to do the substitution, who is supposed to come in, who is supposed to come out, and what impressed me so much was that substitution whereby he did bring in Abonga, taking out Zereko. It was a nice substitution, and the display was nice. The team was composed right from the goalkeeping department up to the attacking force. Simba Saber was on top of his game. Ndifuna, your player, was performing brilliantly. There was no any other player on the side of Onduparaka you would criticize. And for the team of Ndeje University, I think the coach of the club lost it in the tactical book, because you look at the substitution he came up with in the middle of the game. Their guy who was putting on Saturday number 11 was overlapping very well, but the way he was delivering the crosses, to me, we are not successfully towards the end of the game. I think it was the 80th minute their Rasta, who was overlapping with the defenders of Onduparaka, was at some point removed. I think at the end they knew that they had already lost the game. Congratulations to Onduparaka after winning the game. Even if they get to be beaten away from home, at home, of course, you will have to show to the people that this is our home. So I am happy for that. Away, next for them, of course, will be an away encounter up against the team of Boma FC. On the other side, their brother club, is it their sister club? I think their brother club. Calvary, they were away to Lira. They lost their game. I don't know what has happened to them, but still, they can wake up. This time, what they need to pray for is to get enough points to see that they avoid the relegation.
They are into the red zone, by the way. They now sit, I think, on position number 12. There is the relegation zone, which is quite a very bad one, because if you look at West Nile, I think we're only represented in the big league by 2 teams. Kochi lost it into the hands of a Young Elephants. The Nwoya-based aside. I think Calvary, I really don't know what is happening. I remember vividly the other day, on Saturday, when we were doing our analysis of this game, I told you Calvary is very slippery. And they are not consistent. Today Calvary is winning. They are losing 2 games. They are drawing the 3rd one, and then they are losing again the 4th one. but I don't know really what is happening with Calvary. And by the way, after Onduparaka traveling to Masindi to face off Boma, they will come and go to the same Calvary. I don't know, out of the two, where Onduparaka is looking at picking their first away win. I don't know this time around if it will come on either Thursday. They are traveling to Boma on Sunday, I think, and then a Calvary will be the other week on Thursday. I don't know, out of the two aways, because you've seen Onduparaka has not picked any win on away basis. So I don't know if they are waiting to pick their first away win, either from Boma in Masindi or in Yumbe when they go and play Calvary, because Calvary now, they are losing it out. I really don't know what is happening. These guys have good players, very proven players that have been for 3 seasons in there is a big league. Trust me, by now, Benson, these guys would be landlords, because now they have the experience, man. You're playing home. Okay, the first season, yes, we all knew they were not home, and they were using Greenlight Upperbed Stadium, and a lot of people say that they were getting experience, and then even that was what their coach, by then Dudu Bosco, anticipated, saying the first season we lost out, we couldn't push through simply because we were picking experience, we were understanding the league. But then the second season, he said their major mission there was to come and push through to there is a start times Uganda Premier League, which still we didn't see happening. Now, third season, they are sitting 12th on the table. I mean, Calvary should just wake up wherever they're watching us from. We are sisters. Onduparaka is oscillating. One time you're seeing them in position number 8, another. By the way, pushing through or changing your positions on the table in big league Benson is very easy. Because if you look at other people that are ahead of you, you'll see that the point gap is only for 1 win. Onduparaka, before they came to position number 5, they were in position number 8. So yesterday they won. Look at where they are. They've pushed through ahead of like 3-4 positions there. So pushing in, achieving in those positions in big league is very easy, because the team, you might find around 4, 5, okay, 3 teams are seated ahead of you, but catching up with all these teams and crossing top of them is only 1 win, which gets you 3 points. Very clear and evidently seen by Onduparaka. So I think for Calvary, whatever it is that is their problem, they really need to sort this within the first round of the league. And how you end first round actually determines whether you'll push through or not. So it's not yet late for Calvary. Calvary can still wake up, and if they're able to pick around 2-3 wins, trust me, they will sit in a better position. They are going to move out over the red zone.
Police also dropped points after playing a draw. I think that is also advantageous to the other teams sitting behind the team of Police. Onduparaka is also favored because they won their game. The likes of Lugazi, Blacks Power all winning their game. That means they are only some 4 points behind the team of Police. As you had said, once the other one loses, the other one wins, you will see the oscillation, the table changing. And Susie, I want to narrow it back to Onduparaka. After the game, I was in funny discussion with the head coach of Onduparaka Football Club, Samson Caesar Okuti. Funnily, he was telling us that once he gets enough points, seeing that the team can be in position to avoid the relegation, that's when people will see him hanging the boot. There he will retire from playing, he will go back to his original position of being a head coach. So the conversation was in a funny way, but something very funny can also turn to be a fact in case that one happens. I think we'll leave a gap in the pitch.
A very huge one, and I think Onduparaka is looking to there is recruits, strikers, and a coach that will be assisting Jemba, because now initially to Caesar there was a lot of suffering. You'd find that when Caesar goes into the pitch to play, there will be no one at the touchlines to give instructions, and that's why they brought in Jemba, the current coach, Stephen Oke. And I think Onduparaka is looking into bringing in more strikers and also adding up another coach to help Dari Caesar, so that when Caesar is in the pitch playing, the 2 coaches will be on the touchline. They can build up together and do the best for the team. Caesar is really pushing in for the second retirement. First, we saw him retire at there is a Rua Hill after pushing them from big league to picking a trophy with them at big league and pushing them to there is a starting in the Premier League. That is where he retired and started doing coaching. Coaching, I would say, he has not achieved so much. We've not seen him pick any trophy. Coaching, yeah, he was assisting at Arua Hill Soccer Club, and at the same time, he was the head coach over there is Leo before Oduproka picked him this season to be their coach in there is a big league. To me, I think we are waiting to see. He's looking at January, by the way, which is too soon for us to see him go into there is his second retirement. So I don't know how many there will be, but I would say for now it's yet too early for Caesar to even talk about retirement. He's still good.
Yeah, he's still good, and currently one of the top scorers in the league of FUFA, big league. And let's talk about the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, because yesterday we had one game on the card. It was between UPDF and the team of Vipers. Vipers, of course, we are aware they managed to win the game, a slim win for them. The game ended by a 0-0, putting pressure on the team that is currently leading the Love Bull FC after winning their game over the team of Wakiso Giants. Remember, it was a nice win, a huge win for the team of Bull, demolishing Wakiso by 3-0. Now taking them in the relegation zone, that's Wakiso. That means now points gap is 4 points Bull ahead of the team of Vipers. Let's summarize the first half of the show.
We're summarizing the first half of the show, but it is already halftime. Let's come back and discuss actually StarTimes Uganda, because there are a lot of results, there are a lot of shocking results that came through. I will do a brief break, and then when we return, I think StarTimes Uganda Premier League is where we can start up from and then push through to internationals.
Yeah.